While frequently described as the most wonderful time of the year, the holidays are often filled with stress and anxiety, and that can lead to an increase in family conflict and violence.
According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe physical violence, sexual violence, and/or stalking from an intimate partner in their lifetime.
Statistically, we do see an increase in domestic violence over the holidays, but interestingly enough, it can also be that we see the increase in violence, but actually a decrease in service, because people are less likely to go out or leave their home or leave an abusive situation during the holidays.
Wisconsin law defines domestic violence as intentionally inflicting or threatening to inflict physical pain, injury, illness, or sexual assault against a current or former spouse, a current or former cohabitant, or co-parent. Stalking is behavior directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to suffer serious emotional distress or fear bodily injury or death.
We've always known that if a person is violent, has access to weapons, has a drug and alcohol problem, has been kidnapping you or holding you against your will or threatening suicide, mental health challenges, unemployed, that those factors outline danger in these situations. And so what I notice over the holidays is this sincere sort of desire to try to make it through for themselves, for the kids, it's just, holidays are a stressful time. And the people who do come forward because they're terrified about safety and security. I think we have to do a better job of not romanticizing the holidays for people, right? We need to talk about honestly what's happening and to say to people, you're not alone. And if you're struggling and if you're in a place where somebody's hurting you, there's a place for you.
Ms. Petrie notes that not every abuser fits in the high-risk category. Local professionals work to identify individuals at the highest level of risk and prioritize those cases to prevent homicides by holding these high-risk offenders accountable.
What we try to do here at the Peace Center is help them navigate the range of choices. Leaving isn't always the answer, sometimes it is. And so barriers, I think, can be language, it could be income, it could be, fear, love, hope. A lot of people believe that the person will change. They say they're going to change, and the violence continues.
A victim of domestic violence who's living in that situation, they know better than we do. That's why the court should always be open. Friends and family should always be open to when they say they're ready to leave. Because when they decide to leave, that's the most dangerous time.
Judge Murray also noted that family violence presents developmental issues for children in utero and as they grow up. This can create a vicious cycle of abuse and violence. So what can we do?
If you see it in your life, get committed to speaking up about it.
According to experts, the number one thing people can do is to get educated about domestic violence and the services available in their community.
Work on being a friendly presence. And for me, a friendly presence has 3 messages to it. You're not alone. It's not your fault, and I'm going to help you.
I think one of the biggest barriers that students face at UWM is not knowing where to start when you're in crisis, what those different resources mean, because it's different to go to a victim's advocate, it's different to go to the Women's Resource Center, to go to your RA, or to go to the police. All of those have different outcomes. The Women's Resource Center is a safe space and a resource for all students to come in and use. We have close contact with the victim's advocate here on campus.
I work with students who either have experienced or are currently experiencing violence, and that can be domestic violence, dating violence, sexual harassment, sexual assault, or stalking. And I also work on prevention work.
In the United States, on average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner, which equates to more than 10 million women and men annually.
They can go to these places and they will be able to help them fill out anything. If they need a place to stay, they'll help them find housing, they'll help them for transportation, babysitting. They have an attorney on hand that will help them with any legal services that they might need, but we as the court cannot provide services to the victims.
I believe this is a human rights issue, and fundamentally women, kids, men deserve to live in safety and security. and that there can be nothing else in life. There's no life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, anything, if every day of your life you're living in terror.
It's one person, one family, one child at a time.
In the Milwaukee area, you can obtain a restraining order by visiting the Sojourner Family Peace Center or the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Remember, if you see something, say something. Live from Media Milwaukee, I'm Matt Gotsch.